Hi, I'm Harvest. I grew up in Michigan. I was going to college, studying to be an art therapist, working with children, and moved to an Indian reservation in Arizona to practice for my final year, and I didn't like it. It wasn't a good fit. I moved to Flagstaff, Arizona, wanted to take an art class so badly, so I took calligraphy and had no idea who the instructor was, what it was going to be like, and I just happened to stumble upon one of the best in our country who was teaching there. So he kind of mentored me through the process, and that's all I've ever done. It was Dick Beasley, and it was back in the late 70s. When I was learning, it was all broad pen. There was no pointed pen in it. And because it was a set course, you had to learn, I think it was probably the 6 basic hands. It was foundational, Roman capitals, uncial, italic, probably Gothic or black letter of some kind, and I don't remember what the 6th one was, but something that went in that same genre. And I loved it, I did. But what I didn't do that I would do differently is in the beginning, I spent an enormous amount of time taking any and every workshop I could take. So it was a little bit of a lot of things. And I don't recommend that for someone who really wants to seriously study this. You do need a background in broad pen, and you need a background in pointed pen. I would not do several kinds of pointed pen scripts at the same time. You're not going to get good. So what I finally decided was to let all the other things go and focus solely on Spencerian until I really got to the level that I wanted to get to. And I still do broad pen now. Mm-hmm. It's okay, but I didn't keep taking every workshop that there was. I've always done some, but with no training. I just would be playing around. I had done a family tree for my daughter who's adopted, and I wanted her to understand she has all these people supporting her. So I did just a pointed pen script. It was nothing I had at that time, no training or background. I was teaching at one of the international calligraphy conferences, and Mike Sull and Mike Kessick happened to be there. And they saw the family tree, and they went, "You really need to study this. You need to spend time with it." And I thought about it, and I thought, I would like that. It was just very different, and I enjoyed it so much. Pointed pen is what I've been doing the most. My absolute love is illumination. I love working on vellum. I love doing gilding, making the gesso, doing all those things. But I like it combined with the lettering. I don't like plain lettering, and with illumination, I usually love the writing. So it's inspired by the medieval manuscripts. A lot, because it was a college course. You had to go through every hand, and it was several hours a day, but also several hours a day of practice if you wanted to get a really good grade and make use of it. And I did. I wanted an A in that class, so I worked very hard on it. I wouldn't say on a daily basis, no, but 2-3 times a week, yes, I need to be in my studio doing something. If I'm just doing drills, which I don't do that much anymore, it would be a half an hour. Most of the time when I go in my studio, it's all day. And I am working on painting or illumination or just lettering or something that I combine at the end with everything. If you are going for a particular type of pointed pen, I would say find the best teacher that you can find, the one whose style appeals to you, that has that knowledge, and seek them out and see if you can do private lessons or Zoom lessons, but one-on-one, so that they can see your work, make your corrections, help you improve, to really get to the level that you want to be at. It's a two-part answer. If you are going for a certificate, if that is a goal of yours, is to have that, then you have to know that script by that person inside out. You really have to be proficient. But the majority of people aren't going to go for those certificates. So I would say know what your goal is before you get into this. If your goal is to do wedding work or professional work, you don't need a certificate in that. Just get as good as you can. If the goal is to become a master penman, then realize that's going to take years of study. And why do you want it? What are you going to do with it? It's more for a self-reward than anything else. You have to get a level of proficiency, which means that you're good. You have the general understanding, but maybe not excellence yet. Maybe not to the level that really takes you up a notch from everybody else that's proficient at it. So you need to have a certificate of excellence in at least 3 of the areas. And once you have, then you are eligible to become a master penman. You still have to go through the process of making your own certificate. You will have a current master penman help mentor you through the process. So you're not just left on your own, flailing around, going, I don't know what to do. So they'll work with you on layout, design, what you're thinking about, where the elements might go, things like that, to get feedback. It's not a quick journey. Back when I became a master penman, it was actually harder than it is right now, because now you can do one subject at a time and get a certificate in that. Once you have those, you can start on your final certificate. When I was studying, you needed to have a broad pen, a pointed pen, decorative elements. I think gilding was probably included, a lot of different things. But anybody who was a master penman had the choice of kicking you out and saying, this area is not good enough. And then you'd have to go back to the drawing board and do it again. So it could take several years. Because I have and already had a background in all of that before I ever even knew about the Master Penman program, it was helpful to me. And I did it because I loved it, not because I was going for a certificate. So when I got the certificate, it was more validation of the years of work I had put into it. I attained that level. It's not like I use it to do anything with, you have it, and it's lovely. I'm sure it helps with teaching, but commissions, people don't care if you have it or not. They want to see the work on the paper.
Yeah.
Which, it's really sad to me, because a lot of people just started giving out Master Penman certificates. And several well-known people did that, but they're the only judges, and said, yes, okay, you can be a Master Penman, or you've reached that level. So to my mind, that's very different than having a group of master penmen look at their specialties and say yes or no, or this area still needs work, where it's not one person's eye or one person's favoritism, it's a panel of very trained people. So a lot of people claim that they are, but to me, an Iamphith master penman still stands for what a master penman is. Yeah, it's the highest level. Study hard, but only because you love it. The goal should not be the certificate. That means nothing. And it should be through several years of work because you love to do that. You know, all of us that are current master penmen didn't just start doing it because we wanted a master penman certificate. We had been doing it for, most of us, for many years for a good solid background. This one.
Could you show to the camera?
I picked this one because I like the way that it's grouped together as one cohesive unit. So even if I don't read the words, the shape is very pleasing to me. I like the contrast of the colors, but the shape of it mirrors all of these ovals and the more rounded shapes. So the composition itself mirrors that. So to me, that's more, it's an excellent layout of the work. Maha script. Great job. I don't even know if I'm still on camera, but great job.